Bruce and I have a fun show, maybe an informative show for you today as we discuss things to perhaps skip and splurge on your next trip to Walt Disney World, Disneyland. We're going to throw some Universal in there too.
It's going to be fun. I like these skip or splurge ones because there's a lot of add-ons that you could do in wherever park you're going to or land or visit, whatever. There's a lot of things you can add on to your...
There's a lot you could do. You could go overboard for sure. So
you can, but how do you know which ones you should skip or splurge on? We're going to take a little bit from our experience and share, what we would do again, or maybe what we would skip next time.
Should I use a different word? I feel like the word splurge maybe makes you a little queasy.
Yeah, when I hear the word splurge, I do get a little hesitant because, splurging to me means spending a lot of money.
It's painful.
But some of these things cost a lot of money. But some of the items that are on this list do cost a lot of money, but they are worth it.
Yeah, they definitely make your experience either better if you're a first timer, or if you're somebody that wants to go back to the parks and do a whole trip. How do you make it a little different? How do you do things that you've maybe didn't do before? And some of the add-ons, I think, can be worthwhile.
And you know what? It's about making memories. When you go to these vacations, yes, you want to try to maximize your money because they are expensive, but you're really trying to just set memories for your family, either through video or photo or just in your brain that you can go back and think about later on when you're working the 9 to 5.
Definitely.
We all have to do here in the cold New England winter. Working the 9 to 5, I reminisce quite a bit about my trips to Florida and California and think about all those good times we had, and I say to myself, you know what? I would splurge all my money right now to be back there at this particular moment.
Take my wallet.
Take my money. But first, thank you to Relief Band. We very much appreciate Relief Band for helping us out with this podcast here. What exactly is Relief Band, Constantina?
So Relief Band is an accessory that I wear now when I cannot fly without it. I cannot go to places like Pixar Pier in Disneyland, which I happen to love. But while they do have a lot of spinny type rides, emotional whirlwind rides, Inside Out, and it is simply just an anti-nausea band that you wear, and it has changed everything for me because I now no longer have to rely on medication that used to make me kind of miserable and drowsy.
And you did forget your Relief Band on the last one, and you almost went online to purchase one. You said, you know what, I know I have one at home, but I forgot it. Maybe I should just go to reliefband.com and use the code UTM and get 20% off and get another one because
I was desperate at one point.
I can't go on the Pixar Pal around without my Relief Band. I really need that thing. So here you go. The cool thing about Relief Band is not only are they a sponsor of the podcast, which is phenomenal for us, right?
Yeah.
But we've gotten so many messages from people who say the Relief Band actually has helped them go on attractions that they weren't able to go on with the family before. So if you want to do the same, go to reliefband.com, RELIEF band.com for those like me. Use the code UTM at checkout, and you're going to get 20% off plus free shipping. So thank you to the Relief Band again, reliefband.com. Use the code UTM, 20% off, and you're going to get free shipping, and you'll be able to go on Pixar Pal Around, and then right after, you'll be able to go on the Incredicoaster.
Yes, and be happy.
Let's go. And also Club UTM, clubutm.co. I'm going to give some shout-outs on next week's podcast for some members of the Club UTM, but here's the schedule for February if you want to join us. The 10th, we have a new Club UTM podcast going out. Live show coming to you back. We're resurrecting the live show, Facebook live show for UTM Club members only. Watch Party, which is kind of like when you watch movie hangout. There's an app we can use that we can kind of chat, and you usually share some history or some inside facts about whatever movie we are watching, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I can't just watch a movie, so I'm always looking up facts and trying to get more information on the filming process and just fun things that...
It reminds me of those movies where you see the bubbles pop up. So if you've watched Back to the Future or Thor and you've seen it 100 times, to make it more interesting, it's fun to have these versions of the movie where they have these bubbles pop up where it says, during this scene, this happened. And you get to just have a little bit more information. It just makes it different.
Yeah.
So we do that with the Watch Party. Member of the Month, which is we
don't do it. I do it.
You do it. Yeah, I just hang out.
Yeah.
A Member of the Month, where we pick a Member of the Month to join us for a podcast inside Club UTM. That's fun. Thank you cards and the free merch winner will be happening at the end of February. So if you want to join Club UTM, Got a lot of
clubutm.co. Papers over there. I'm impressed.
It's all my notes. Now I can just talk about spend or splurge. we gotta be able to monetize this thing in order to splurge on some of these, because some of these are quite pricey.
You mean skip or splurge? Because your mind is like spend or spend
right
now.
Right? Yeah, I totally forgot about the skip part. I was just in splurge mode.
Minus 30 degrees will do that to you.
That is very much true.
In New England, I hope everybody is riding this weather safely. Stay warm, you guys. It's definitely cold out there. Okay, so number one, this is a question that we receive pretty often, and I figured, you know what, let's add it to this particular show because it's a good question. And this is, do we splurge staying at a deluxe resort for our first trip? So that's really important. Those words, that keyword here, first trip, because all of us, I think, at some point want to attain the goal of staying at a deluxe. Maybe not, but they are pretty incredible depending on the amenities. But should you do that on your very first trip to Walt Disney World?
No.
No?
Nope.
Versus like, no way.
Well, here's why. Let me explain.
Okay. You tell me what you think, and I'll give the right answer. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, well, that's usually how it goes in this podcast here.
I'm totally
so
joking.
should you splurge? Listen, I love the deluxe resorts, and I think they're amazing at Walt Disney World. However, if it is your first trip, going to Disney World and splurging on a deluxe resort is going to ruin you
You're
for
out.
any future trip you have to go on for the rest of your life.
You're going to think of that one place forever and ever.
It's never going to live up to a moderate or value resort. Is never going to live up to that one time you went to that deluxe resort, and it's going to ruin you forever. You got to build yourself up to that.
Yeah.
It's like sitting in the extra comfort seats on a plane or first class. Once
True.
you do it, you can never go to the back of the plane.
That's also true.
And it ends up costing you a heck of a lot more money to splurge on later on in life. So I would say no.
Okay.
But that's not saying the deluxe resorts aren't fantastic, because they are. I'm just saying for your first trip, maybe go moderate, and then your next one, you have something to bump up to.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with you, actually.
Really?
Yeah, thank you for reading exactly what I told you to say. No, I'm just kidding.
My pleasure.
No, but you have a good point. I think that once you experience a deluxe, and it's the certain amenities, right, that the deluxe offers you, plus views. So if you're staying at, for an example, the Polynesian Village, you can see Cinderella Castle from the beach area, and it's really hard to kind of compare anywhere else. That being said, I think you really need to dig deep to find out who you're traveling with. If you have somebody with you that is not necessarily a Disney fan, I would not suggest going on a value. If possible, if financially possible, you could at least make a moderate resort happen. I think that is that perfect in between where you do get a lot of great amenities. It's priced pretty decently, and I think you get a lot for your money, and I think that's the way to kind of woo that person, if that's your goal, to getting them to want to come back with you. I mean, that to me, that's the goal. It doesn't have to be every year, but maybe every few years that could be your goal of going back.
And if you have a rich aunt or uncle, that's
Then
just
splurge.
footing the bill. Splurge away, right?
Splurge.
Like, hey, say, well, there's no moderates or values. They're all deluxe resorts. What are you talking about?
Floridian, here we come.
You're my rich aunt. This Polynesian resort is on the value list. We're staying there.
It also depends. I mean, now I think, too, with the Skyliner, some of the values do offer such great access, and it's just easier for a lot of people to travel back and forth. And I think that's what also the Deluxe does, is that it gives you that access to the parks so that you can go rest. You know, it depends on a lot of things, but I think I'm sticking with the answer that you gave.
All right, next one. Here we go. I agree with you.
Okay.
Staying on property in Disneyland. So we recently just did this. Should you stay on property and splurge to stay at the Disneyland Hotel or Grand Californian Hotel?
Okay, so this is very fresh. This is something that was a goal for us for a very long time. We've always wanted to try at least one of the hotels. And we were actually going back and forth. As much as we love the history of Disneyland, Walt Disney, there was a minute where we were trying to decide, because the price between the two for a minute there was not very far off between the Grand Californian and Disneyland.
Well, we put a poll inside of Club UTM, and I said, hey, listen, if you could stay at either one, which one would you rather? It was kind of a would you rather inside the Splurge or skip.
Putting the possible construction aside.
Yes.
Right? Forget about that for a minute.
Would you rather stay at Grand Californian or the Disneyland Hotel? And a vast majority of people said the Grand Californian. They like the style, they like the location, and they just said, hey, listen, if I had to choose, I would choose that.
Well, all right, we can talk about both of the hotels being what they are and what they offer for sure, because obviously the Grand Californian, one of the key things is being able to walk into California Adventure.
Which I really enjoyed California Adventure a lot more this time than I did in the past. So that's a bonus.
I think you and the kids loved California Adventure this time so much. And I always love Disneyland, but I really love Disney. Like, I saw a little bit of a division there.
Yeah, right? So maybe next time, that's definitely going to play into the decision-making process for me because of how much I love California Adventure now. Like, that is, being able to walk into California Adventure from the Grand Californian is an amazing experience. Definitely.
But so you just overall, just taking, let's leave Pixar Pier out of it for now, but let's talk about these two properties being like right next to the parks, right? So
I think a huge factor in bonus for staying on property, and why I think maybe I would splurge, is because I haven't found the hotels, the Good Neighbor hotels, they're not cheap. So it's not like you're saving a ton of money by staying at one of the Good Neighbor hotels. And being able to just wake up. I
said Pixar Pier Hotel. I meant to say Disney Paradise Pier Hotels. Oh. Sorry.
Oh, so we're just talking about the two main ones.
Yeah, okay.
Being able to wake up in your hotel, walk down, and get early access to the park, and what you can accomplish in that short half an hour before everybody else gets in, makes up for the price of staying at a Disneyland resort hotel, Grand California / Disneyland hotel, versus a Good Neighbor hotel.
I completely agree with you. I think what you get, the value of what you get can't be beat. The service, the amenities, the history of being immersed right there and having everything, you're able to do so much more, but also it makes you feel way more like you've gone on vacation.
This kind of contradicts what I just said in the previous one.
Yeah.
But my feeling is that most people...
I think it's different in Disneyland, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, most people don't visit Disneyland quite as often or as frequently as they do Disney World.
Yeah, maybe.
So if you are going to go to Disneyland, it may be your one trip that you do every 10 years, or maybe it's the only one you've done. You've gone to Disney World 7 times, and you're going to go to Disneyland now. So
what you're saying is, sorry to cut you off, but I'm just trying to go back to all those years and all the times that we've been to Disneyland, we've never stayed on property, and we've always wanted to. We've visited all the properties. We saw what they offered. We never slept there or used the pool or anything. Would you go back now? Looking back, would you say, wow, I really should have figured out how to stay on property versus all the times that we didn't?
100%.
Yeah.
Because we don't go to Disneyland as frequently. So once every 3 years we go, it's worth it to save up or try to sell something you own to get a little bit more money.
Eat a little ramen.
Yeah, eat a little ramen for a couple weeks, or a Disneyland hotel or the Grand Californian. For that week you're there, I think it's very much worth the price.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that I wish we could go back, stay on property. I think we would have really had I don't want to say we didn't have a great time, but it was like California is so hectic. The driving is hectic. The energy is hectic. You don't necessarily feel like you're escaping. So when you have a hotel that's fine, like the Good Neighbor hotels, like the Candy Cane Inn we liked, it was really nice. It was still missing that equation of like really immersing you in.
Yeah, the Disney bubble is there in Disneyland, but it's only there for those two hotels.
Yeah.
So I definitely think you should splurge and stay at one of them.
Now, one versus the other, I gotta tell you, I'm a pool girl. I love, even if I'm not swimming, I like to look at a good pool. When I saw the Disneyland hotel versus the Grand Californian hotel, I was like, this is non-comparison. Disneyland hotel all the way. So that's always going to be my pick.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm with you. I love the Disneyland hotel, but it depends. I think it depends on what you're looking for. I think the pool at the Disneyland hotel is better, but the lobby in the inside of the Grand Californian was better. And the Grand Californian is a little bit closer to the park versus where the Disneyland hotel is. So there's a few factors that are going to come into play for you to choose, but I don't think you can go wrong with either one.
But the key word here is we're splurging.
Yeah, I'm splurging. That's 100% for sure. I am splurging.
That's it.
It is worth it.
Now we can't go backwards.
Ramen all week long.
Yeah, it's exactly. Okay, how about this? We're still on the topic of Disneyland. How about you're splurging to spend extra, because it's quite a bit extra to fly from Boston to this particular place. But you spend extra to fly into Orange County, which is the John Wayne Airport, which is the closest airport to be in Disneyland.
I think this factor for me would have to be, all right, how much more? If it's a little bit more, yes. If it's a lot a bit more, I don't think I would do it. It's a rough ride from LAX to Disneyland, especially if you're not used to traffic or freeways. And these are like capital freeways, like capitalized freeway. Like where we live, it's like capital F freeway.
Yeah.
And like in the suburbs of, mid America, it's like all lowercase freeway. Mm-hmm. This is like freeway
with like exclamation points.
Watch out. Yeah.
I don't know what it was this time. It could have been the fact it was raining and people just forgot how to drive, but
we're from Boston.
Yeah.
And it's very much a cluster here driving on the highway. Always. So it's not like it's smooth sailing and there's no traffic. So we're used to that. And still driving in LA is no joke.
I didn't like it. The kids didn't like. I love having a rental car and I love going around. Like California is one of my favorite places to visit because there's just so much going on. But this particular trip, I say to myself, wow, we maybe should have spent that little extra and just stuck with it because we ended up doing a lot more Disneyland days because if you're splurging to go to Disneyland Hotel, you should for sure stick there. Like you shouldn't, that maybe is something to consider. Like if you're going to go off property and a good neighbor, that might allow your budget to kind of travel around California and do other things. Fine. But when you're staying at a hotel like that, you want to it's like what we talk about in Walt Disney World. You want to take advantage of the amenities. Don't just do all these park days and never be at your hotel.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I didn't like the freeway this time. I don't know what it was. And I'm, like you said, I'm from Boston. I'm used to rough driving, but it was a whole nother animal.
So I'm taking you're going to splurge and go to this airport versus LAX.
I'm going to try. I think it was something.
I don't think it's worth it. I like renting a car. I don't mind the driving. And listen, it is crazy driving, but I'm a crazy driver, so the kids say.
That's true.
So I fit right in over there. So I'm not splurging on this. You are. That's cool.
See you later.
You know what? One thing I didn't mention about the staying on property, back to the splurge of staying on Disneyland Resort. Don't underestimate how close the resorts are for you to take a 30 or 45-minute break. Especially if you're an East Coaster traveling to the West Coast. We were getting up early because we were still on East Coast time.
We were always up
and
at
we
like
needed
5.
an hour or two in that middle of the day to go back to our resort, maybe take a quick nap or just rest for a minute. And those resorts being so close made it really easy to do that. Versus if we were staying at a good neighbor hotel, we would have just slugged it out for the whole day at Disneyland and maybe gotten a couple family fights or arguments or had a great, not a great night.
100%. That's why we were arguing before. I always said, like, why do we argue, like, when we're in Disney? Like, not that, I mean, we're not, well, you're tired. You're out of your element. It's something that we're not used to. And, it's a long day. It's that rest. It's not even, like, really sleeping, but it's just, like, unwinding for a minute, closing the shades at your hotel room and just kind of having a sensory break is really necessary, even though in Disneyland, we do a lot of like mini breaks. Like there's a lot of times where we'll just grab a coffee or a drink and just sit and relax, but still it's not enough, especially when, like you said, if you're still stuck on a certain time zone and you're up way earlier than you should be, it can kind of mess up your plans. So I loved that about being able to just, I mean, we took the monorail. We were back in our room in 2 seconds.
I loved it. So awesome. I just wanted to kind of go back and mention that.
I want to go back in general.
Me too. Let's splurge. Let's splurge right now and go back.
Can we do that?
This weather stinks here.
Okay, next one is another hot topic that comes up often, and these are VIP tours. Now, we'll talk about, I was planning on talking about the one at Universal Orlando Resort, the VIP experience, along with the one, the Disney private tours we can talk about.
Okay.
And just like the difference and what you think they offer. So
I don't know if I'm a huge...
Well, before you judge, let's talk about it.
Too late. But anyway, go ahead.
Me trying to convince you to do a VIP tour.
Let's go.
You're squashing that. We should call it Splurge or Squash versus just like, nope.
I'm out.
As soon as he sees $189 per person plus tax.
I'm out.
All right. Universal Orlando VIP. With the VIP, you'll personally be escorted. Wow, that was really hard for me to say. By a Universal expert on a guided group tour through Universal Studios. You could do Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure or both with a 2-park experience. You'll get exclusive backstage access. Just let that marinate for a minute, Bruce.
Thinking.
Okay. Learn fun insider information and enjoy the parks and most amazing rides and attractions without waiting in line. So you'll, with your guide, you'll get all priority access to attractions, including Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, Transformers. You could probably skip that one. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter attractions, behind the scenes I talked about, complimentary valet parking. Got that?
Yep.
Reserved seating at shows, complimentary continental breakfast and lunch. Okay, the dinner is included in private VIP experiences only, so that's something else. Universal Express Unlimited, exclusive VIP experiences lanyard, so you get like a cool lanyard.
One of those things that I think we had back when Fast Passes were a thing, we had a video that was like one of those Wayne's World people sharing their
lanyard
backstage passes. It's
yeah.
I'm a VIP. And
then discounts at select Orlando owned and operated merchandise locations in the theme parks and City Walk. So you could do 1 day, 1 park tour, 1 day, 2 park tour. There's a bunch you can do. Did I sell it at all?
No. You did not. You should not get hired by Universal to sell that.
Great.
Or they need to reword their blog post there, because
I actually feel like I did a good job. I'm sorry, but I think that if you maybe let that word marinate a minute about the exclusive backstage access, when I can guarantee you, and I actually think you saw it happen, and I'm surprised, you probably tried to convince yourself it was something else, but I saw folks on an attraction, one of my favorites, Men in Black, on this VIP tour, and they were down there where all the auto animatronics were. I can't say it. I said audio animatronics were, and they looked like they had so much fun.
I agree, but I've seen Backstage now that we did the Waltz tour, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. I don't want to see Backstage.
You want to stay front stage.
I want to be kept in the magic. I don't want to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
I just want to have a sausage sandwich.
Okay.
Right? So, like, I don't want to know what it's like to work behind the scenes, because that's going to ruin it for me.
Yeah, but you get special access. You get to be in the places of the queue where you're not traditionally allowed to go. Like, to me, that's super fun.
Yeah, they should have smaller experiences. Like, this is the VIP max. They need the VIP minimum one, where you just, well, I guess that's called Max Pass, right? You just get on the attractions pretty quick.
Yeah. I like this. I like there's no waiting in line. I like the price isn't too bad. I mean, compared to some of
What is the price again?
It's starting from $189.
So when they say starting from $189, that means the slowest day of the year is $189. The more busy day is going to be a little bit more. The other thing I don't love about these is you go with other people.
Okay.
I don't want to be hanging out with other people. You don't know me. Do you not know me by now?
I know. Do know. Yeah.
So.
Bummer. So should I even bother with the Disney one?
Let's go. Maybe the Disney one's a little different. Let's go.
I like this VIP one. I think the Universal one is, maybe it's because we don't go to Universal as often or I don't know.
One of our agents from UTM Travel did this, and she said it was amazing, though. So she kind of backing you up, and she's splurging on it.
I think it's amazing, and I think you don't really know what you're missing until you're in that computer room with Men in Black, and you get to see like everything that's going on.
Maybe I need to give it a shot.
I think it's worth it.
Anybody have a rich aunt that wants to take me on this?
I just want the red carpet treatment. Now, with Disney private tours, there's different ones, but they're definitely more money, ranging from $450 to $900 per hour.
I'm out.
But you can have 10 people. So to me, they would be worth it if you knew you were going with 10 people that really wanted to do this tour. Like if you're going on a girls trip and you're doing something like for a bachelorette or just like a special event and you have 10 people, I think that is worth it right there.
All right. See, now you sold it.
Oh.
You sold it to me. Like, that was a better sales job than the previous one.
All right, I'll continue.
Like, now I'm thinking, all right, like, if I take somebody with us and we can all kind of chip in and pay for it.
Yeah.
But that may be worth it right there. But just me going on a VIP tour alone with other people that I don't know, I'm out.
You're done.
But now that you sold it that way, I might splurge on that.
Okay. I'll take that as a win, in my opinion.
Let's take that as a win and move on.
Okay, next is... we're going to do, we've talked about this a lot. So this has come up recently quite a bit, the Adventures by Disney. But this one, I think, is fresh in our mind because we were in California.
Right.
And this is the Adventures by Disney, Southern California Escape, it's called. It's a Disneyland resort in Southern California. You get a peek behind the magic on the 4-day Adventure by Disney Disneyland Resort, Southern California Escape, rare behind-the-scenes tour of Walt Disney Studios.
See, now that's where I want to see the sausage made.
And our Disney Archives. Spend several magical, fun-filled days and nights at the Disney theme parks. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. This does bring you to, I think, the accommodations. So this one I'm looking at is at the Grand Californian. They sold me at, Disney Archives.
And out of the adventures by Disney, this seems to be the most reasonably priced one.
Yeah, there's so many. There's so many to choose from, and it just depends on what kind of experience you're looking for. For us, this is something that I think we've always wanted to do. And look, Walt Disney Studios isn't like the Warner Brothers Studios where you can just show up that day and buy a ticket and visit.
Hold on a second here. I'm looking at the itinerary.
Slow the roll.
Hold on. I'm looking at the itinerary here, and check this out.
Yeah.
It says, here's your itinerary. Mm-hmm. Day 1, arrive in Southern California. It has me right there.
Sunny Southern California.
Welcome dinner at Disneyland Resort and a private tour of Walt's apartment.
Yeah. So that's included too.
We already did that.
Yeah.
We could have just did this, though. We got dinner, too. Day 2.
Yeah.
Private tour of Walt Disney Studios and archives. That's amazing. The full details is breakfast at Disneyland Resort, private tour of Walt Disney Studios, visit the Disney Archives, shop at the Disney Studios tour, and then you have dinner at Tam O'Shanter, which is that restaurant that Walt loved.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then you're transferred back to the Disneyland Resort. Day 3, you get to hang out at the Disneyland Resort. Breakfast at the Disneyland Resort. This is great. VIP visit to Disneyland Park and California Adventure. On your own time at Disneyland Resort. They get to let you do whatever you want. And then you have a farewell dinner.
Oh, so sad. Bye. I don't want to leave.
Yeah, I'm totally in on this. I think I want to do this.
Yeah.
I'm splurging.
This one I think could be, I think maybe that's how they do it too. Like they made the Walt Disney Studios so exclusive. Yeah. So if you have to be a certain level D23 member, and that's really also hard to do to get in because it's not so much being a member, but getting the actual date to go or do something like this. It's not like you're doing a Paramount Studios tour where it's just, you buy a ticket and you go. These are way more, this is way more exclusive. So that alone makes it something that I think we've all wanted to do.
So I'm in on this. I'm doing it.
I think this is.
I think I might even book one right now. Anybody know anybody?
Okay, so that's good. I like how this is going. We're still on, I guess we're just doing nothing. We're just sticking on Disneyland because this you had on the list. Are you trying to torture me?
I am.
Chili mango Dole Whip in Disneyland. You had to remind me that it was $9.
It was a lot. It was kind of expensive for a Dole Whip, but you know what? You gotta splurge on this at least once. It's a unique flavor, by the way. It's not something that you think of when you think of a Dole Whip, nor looking at it does it look visually appealing.
You guys, I'm going to have to figure out how to make this at home because I haven't had such a strong craving. I literally almost left my family at California Adventure just to go to Disneyland. They were closing. Disneyland was closing at 8 p.m. It was 7, and I realized I needed that whip, that Dole Whip.
You needed the whip.
I needed it, and no one was letting me. Everyone was giving me the guilt trip. They were like, "You can't leave us. It's our last day together. We can't." On vacation.
We miss you.
Yeah, right.
I know.
You guys were just probably thought I would, I don't know, just probably stay at Disneyland somehow.
Yeah, we would miss you. You'd disappear. You wouldn't come back. You'd be back at the hotel hanging out by yourself.
I would stay until every last person was out at Disneyland. I would be like the very last.
So you're definitely splurging on this multiple times.
It's so delicious. I hope that they don't change it because I know these type of loaded whips, Dole Whips, they change.
Did you think that it was going to be good when you saw it before you had it?
No.
What did you think it was going to be like?
I just wanted to try it.
I thought it was going to be like the pineapple stick we got in Epcot with the tahini on it.
Yeah.
It was a little bit too much tahini flavoring for me. It was kind of the same flavor that goes on the Dole Whip, but it was less. It was a little bit sweeter. And the mango chutney that they had with it was very good.
It was heavenly.
So I'm with you. I don't think I need to splurge on this every time. I think it's a one and done for me. Mm-hmm. Or maybe a one and share. Like you don't need your own. I could get one and share it with somebody.
Okay.
But that's kind of gross. Something about sharing ice cream doesn't sit well with me.
You liked sharing this though because it was like, it's not, when it's fruit-based maybe, the Dole Whip isn't dairy.
You know what it was? It wasn't hot. something about melted ice cream. Sharing melted ice cream in a bowl is not appealing to me whatsoever.
Okay, well.
So maybe because it was cold and it was maintaining its structure.
I just need one that bad. So Splurge all the way. I hope I'm not making people think that this is like...
You're going to make people think this is the most amazing thing in the history of things.
I'm literally, that's how much I love it.
This is awesome.
I need my own shirt with the loaded Dole Whip. I don't even care.
All right, next, Walt's Main Street Tour. We just did a whole podcast episode not too long ago about that. And
not too long ago. I think it was the last episode.
yeah, that's what I meant. Not too long ago, meaning last episode.
Yeah.
Was about Walt's Main Street Tour. But
This
isn't a cheap, it's not a cheap tour, and it's not a long tour.
No.
So it's a little bit expensive, and it's only 90 minutes long. And there's not a whole lot that you do on it.
Yeah.
You walk around Main Street. They share a couple facts for you. You get to walk in Walt's apartment, and then you get to go on Walt's patio and have a snack.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to touch anything. You don't get to take video. And you don't get to use the bathroom in Walt's apartment.
That would be cool.
Imagine that.
Can I just fresh it up for a minute?
Excuse me. I have to go in here for a second. I'll be out in a few minutes.
Our tour guide was so sweet. Her name was Trish. She was so sweet. But I think I kept boring her with my comments because I was like, can I see the bathroom? I just wanted to linger. I have this thing that I didn't realize about myself that I really love old school bathrooms, like bathrooms that were constructed in the 40s and 50s. And I had to tell her that I took out my bathroom that needed to be renovated because when we purchased it.
You're what we call an oversharer.
I said, the previous owner, he redid the bathroom in the 80s and it was
She's
very
like,
80s.
I don't care. Why are you telling me this?
And I said, I ripped everything out and we put everything back brand new. I said, but it's an old bathroom. It looks like an old bathroom, but it's a new bathroom. So it looks like Walt Disney would like it. She was just like, too much.
She said, go get your cookie, ma'am.
She said, that might be a problem.
So anyway.
What about your resale value, dude?
Let's get back on track here.
Okay.
What do you think? Skip or splurge?
Splurge all the way.
Splurge once. This isn't something I don't think this is something you need to do multiple times.
Maybe twice.
I'm a one and done. I thought I have the pictures of me in Walt's apartment. I
didn't do it for the photo.
I did it because you want to check it out, right? And you want to be able to see what it looks like and say, you know what? There's Walt's apartment. I've been in there.
Yeah.
And now
that's the thing.
I have that checked off my list.
Maybe, yeah. But
I don't think the facts they shared on Main Street were so in depth that you couldn't find those on your own.
Right.
My one thing I wish they changed is I wish the facts that they shared on Main Street were like hidden facts that you can only find if you know about the company and are on this tour.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with that, though. I think that if you don't have a podcast or you don't listen, I don't.
Yeah, maybe because the people that were with us are not podcasters or content creators, and they were very surprised by some of the things.
Yeah, I don't think, I think that was our goal with the podcast, too, was just to get people to look at the history and take the time to kind of, on their own time, to kind of read through anything so that they can have a better connection with their family.
You do walk down Main Street in a different way when you understand the windows and the history behind it. Yeah,
for sure. I think that's what makes it extra special. And I think that's hard for us to answer whether it was worth it or not on that portion of it.
I think altogether as a whole, splurge on it, but once.
Yeah.
You don't need to splurge twice.
Okay.
Like when you visit Disneyland, you should stay at the Disneyland hotel every time. But you don't need to do Walt's Main Street tour every time.
I wish you could have, when you cruise, like the first time you cruise, it's like a certain tier when you do it a second time.
Yes.
Like they give you whatever. I wish they would do something like that with Walt's apartment because it's like, I just don't, it's no offense to the like factor. Like I just want to go see the apartment again. And do I have to pay, the ticket?
For the whole tour?
Yeah. Like, can I just meet up?
All right. Your first visit, you just get to walk in the apartment. The second one, you get to sit on the couch. The third one, you get to flush the toilet.
You get to freshen up.
You get to freshen up.
You get to bring your toiletries.
On your 10th tour, you can take a shower.
That was a way. Speaking of the shower, it was like 3 or 4. There's nobody that knew why that there was 3 or 4 nozzles in the shower, and the only thing I could think of was they babysat a lot, and so maybe it was easier for them to.
Or they said because of Walt's polo accident that he couldn't bend over, so he needed to rinse off his legs or something like that. He couldn't like do it in the shower. So.
But nothing was confirmed. Like they didn't know.
That's the one secret that he took to his grave with him. He never told anybody why that was like that. They couldn't find out the answer for that.
That's really interesting.
Did you look at my notes? Because you said about levels, and I have something that we've been doing, and it involves levels.
No.
You know what it is?
Wait, did I say that it was? Oh, for the tour levels?
Yeah, like there's different levels.
Oh, no.
And you get to win prizes.
Yeah.
Speaking of winning prizes and levels, if you go to unlockingthemagic.com/share.
Share, S-H-A-R-E.
The best thing you can do, listen, we've had a lot of bumpy weeks over the last couple of weeks. There's been a lot of things happening behind the scenes that we've been dealing with.
Some roller coasters,
It's been a lot of roller coasters. And the best thing that you can do for us is to help us promote the show by sharing it with friends. And if you go to unlockingthemagic.com/share, you can sign up, and it's just with your email address, to help share the show. And we have a whole thing in there where you can win prizes the more you share. The more you share the show with friends, the more it helps us, the more it can benefit you. You can win hats, stickers, T-shirts, a free membership to Club UTM, maybe even join us for a podcast episode. Again, unlockingthemagic.com/share. Just add your email address and your name in there, and then there'll be a whole back end for you to share with your friends. Share away. Tons of levels.
Annoy your family and friends.
That's right. Annoy them and get them to sign up for the podcast.
Do it.
Listen, no, and all kidding aside, that's the best thing. We always get people who reach out to us, but that's the best thing you can do is help us by sharing the show.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for all your support, by the way. I know we're
You're welcome. Oh, you're not talking to me?
No. I am trying to make this a joke and be really light, but I really want to take a minute to just say thank you for everybody that has reached out to us, that support us throughout for a long time. We've had people that have been with us from the very beginning, whatever you do, just it means the world to us just to tell one friend that you've heard of us and that you know us, and maybe bribe them to
either bribe them to listen to the podcast or
joking.
You know what, if you know somebody who's going on a trip and they need someone's help, go check out Unlocking the Magic Travel.
I can't do mushy stuff. I get too emotional and it's a hot mess.
Yeah, you're very much true on that. And you know what? The other thing I wanted to mention real quick, then we can get back to the show, is we're going on a cruise in September. If you want to come, we can go to our Facebook page, Unlocking the Magic. There's a events tab, and the events tab, it has all the info about the cruise. We'll be on it. We hope you can join us. It's going to be fun. It's a Halloween cruise on the Magic out of Miami in September. The weather should be good.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Knocking on wood. It's going to be a lot of fun. We hope you can join us.
Get the insurance.
Yeah, get the insurance. We hope you can join us.
Okay. All right. I'm out of Skip or Splurge, I think. I don't think I have any more.
You don't have any more Skip or Splurge?
I don't think so. I think we've been talking for a while here.
I'm going to do one more.
Okay.
So we talked about events, right? What about Halloween Horror Nights in Universal? Should they skip or should they splurge on that? Last one here.
That's interesting one.
I know, because I threw it at you. I didn't have it on the list here, but I was thinking about events, and I'm thinking about specialty events at these parks. And Halloween Horror Nights is a complete different kind of experience than Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party says it in the name. Not so scary.
I think you got to know who you are. I think that if you like Halloween for everything, so there are tiers on Halloween, right? There's that element of kind of magic, like Halloween is about, sorcery.
So
magic.
It's spooky, but not scary.
Yeah. So that's a piece of it now, and it can go all the way through, some of the most popular Halloween horror films, right?
And that's a whole very popular genre. Like those movies make a lot of money.
So you can like Halloween for just a portion of it. Me, like I could do Halloween every day if it's like Halloween Town. That's all I love. I love the lightheartedness. I like the happy monsters. But there's all the way through like some of the scary Halloween movies. I'm not into that. I'm too much of a scaredy cat. But if you do like that, I think it's definitely a splurge. With friends, I think
definitely
extra. Yeah, like go with your friends. You're going to have the best time. If you're not into Halloween all the way through that level, I would say skip.
Definitely Halloween Horror Nights is a splurge item with a group.
Yeah.
When they tell you to bring your scare squad, you got to bring people with you. They're not lying.
They're not lying. It's way more fun to see other people afraid. But I kind of knew that already about myself when we were going, but I still wanted to experience it. Like I still wanted to know what it was all about. I did wanted to like it. It's not that I didn't. It's just that it's a totally different animal, and I'm not sure that it's totally my thing. Like I think am I an Halloween imposter?
No, this is not. I think you have.
Am I? I need a minute.
You need to have a certain kind of Halloween experience. You're not a horror film Halloween person.
No.
And you're not
I learned that the
haunted houses Halloween person. Like you're an experienced Halloween person. Like you like Halloween experiences, but not ones that shake you up.
I like wizards and witches and ghosts. I don't necessarily love chainsaws.
And there was quite a few of them at this Halloween Horror Night. So if that's your thing, though, listen, it was a fun experience to try once, and I do think it would be more fun with a group of people.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it. If you have a skip or a splurge, send it in to us. info@unlockingthemagic.com is our email. Obviously, you can message us on Instagram or on Facebook. Those are two places that we hang out quite a bit as well. If you want to send in your skip or splurge, we'll add it to the list for the next podcast. We do these every once in a while, so I'm sure there'll be another show in the future that we do some of these skip or splurges.
It's just fun to say. Skip or squash.
We got to call it skip or squash next time. That's way better.
Squash.
I'm in or I'm out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Maybe we should do it that way.
Definitely.
Are you in or are you out? All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Very much appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.